So it will be, like, you guys will essentially have, like, a week to kill or so while they're putting the pieces together. And it kind of comes with the request that you sort of gather as much data as you can while you're there, assuming you survive. And if any act of sabotage becomes possible...
Do we take it?
They would like you to take it. But obviously that's not why you're going there, so they're not like... It's just sort of a request for their, like, assistance. But yeah, you guys will have like a week to kill as they're like putting together preparations. You can just like stay here, rest up. Or you can I don't know, go do something scummy, I guess.
I don't know, something scummy, I guess. I mean, is there anything else we want to, like, have?
Yeah, this is a good time for you guys to go, like, if you want to track down any equipment or anything like that. So, essentially, how this will work is you will be in fake Inquisitor armor. You can carry blasters if you want. That's fine.
I'll carry my heavy blaster because it's literally exactly what the Purge Troopers carry.
And then you and Joel will be in... like faked Purge Trooper armor.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be sort of...
Will it be functionally laminate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like statistically your armor is fine. You don't need to change anything for the sake of this. And yeah, you will both probably have heavy blaster pistols and heavy blaster rifles, or you will be expected to be armed.
Would Inquisitor have some sort of melee?
Lightsaber?
Rather than lightsaber?
Not necessarily. Some do use, like, staves and stuff like that. So you might be able to, especially being a big, scary person, you could
probably
get away with
the
Viper
axe.
Axe. And they can, if you want, they could also just try and disguise your heavy battle armor. They think, like...
I bet they can make it look
they could.
Like dark, literally just paint it black and give it red decals, and then all of a sudden it's Inquisitor battle armor.
Get a spooky helmet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's any
I think
specialized equipment you guys want to track down, now is kind of a good time to do it.
I don't think there's anything that I would need to track down now that would be reasonable to get done in this amount of time. Like, I can't replace my hands right now, so
great. We've got a top secret mission in a week. I'm gonna go get my hands replaced.
I'm going to replace one hand with the other hand, and then use that new hand to replace my other hand.
Of course.
I should be whole arms. But anyways, that's a job for future Gank.
Until somebody realizes I do thumb on the other side.
I do like mix the left and right. I'm like a Rakshasa. I put them on backwards.
Wait a minute. I'm a robot. I'm a
Sorry about that
monster.
loud spike on the camera or on the audio there. I clapped too close. Like, never clap too close to the sun. I will
use a limiter.
Offer my services to the rebellion in modifying the armors and making them look right and giving, because like I've seen this armor and I can help them. I'm good at modifying that kind of stuff, as well as in trying to make digital documentation that would be reasonably inquisitorial.
Okay. Make me a average mechanics check and an average computers check.
Okay.
I offer my services to the rebels to help them fix some of their X-Wings if any of them need it, and then also offer my service to help fix that Y-Wing.
Okay, you can make me an average mechanics check as well.
3 success, 1 threat on the mechanics.
Okay.
And the computer.
1 success.
1 success. Okay. Yeah, I mean they definitely appreciate your help.
And just 2 success on the computers.
And just 2 success. Okay, you are like flawlessly impressed with your you think the documentation that's a mixture of actual Imperial documentation and identification and stuff, and just like what would Inquisitor documentation probably look like? You think you're like this is it's like we nailed this. Like this is good. You think you've maybe done too good a job on the armor? You're like this is perfect. This is gonna draw attention.
Good! I did a great job! Too good. Oh no.
I suppose I had to spend my XP.
And
Sure, I'll let you guys do that over the course of this week if you want to spend XP.
XP, yeah.
wait, what are we doing?
If you want to spend any XP, I'll let you do that as well.
I wonder if there's any special abilities that would help.
Yeah,
us.
I'll hold off on that. And pretty much, as far as my check, what goes, just
Yeah, they definitely appreciate the help. Just having another mechanic there who obviously knows what they're doing makes all of the work go faster.
I call dibs on flying that Y-wing when it's fixed.
Careful, we're not here to join the rebels. We're here to save
I
one
don't
of
want
them.
rebels. I just want to fly the Y-wing. That's all I want.
That guy's flying a Y-wing. He must be a rebel. Get him.
I'm not! Just an enthusiast!
I'll even paint it Nautilus colors. They'll never suspect a thing.
The guy's some sort of Nautilus rebel. Get him.
Naughty.
Well,
Just like in exit out of this document that has Taz Bando's name on it. Just
Yeah, I guess so.
you
For
decided-
now.
You decided not to go that route.
Probably for the best, that junkie.
yeah.
Just a speed junkie.
That's what I meant.
Where do you think I would find this?
What you
Find
looking
what?
I'm trying to get...
Let's see if there's any like talents and special abilities.
You gotta go to your specialist section,
yeah,
which is...
I mean, the hired gun is your like overall career. The specialization that you
Which
have
one did you do?
is out of.
It's like bruiser or heavy or something like that.
My career
Thick.
is hired gun.
But there's like the specialization in your career as well.
Well,
Is it? I don't remember. I don't. This might not have any career stuff. It might just, yeah, this is just.
I have intimidation. That's the coercion check thing. Oh yeah, special ability. Yeah, I know. I never wrote it down.
Where did I put that?
Choosing the specialization.
Yeah, your specialization is in one of the other.
It's one of the little books.
Well, maybe I never did actually do anything.
You definitely
No,
did.
you did.
Did I?
You have to choose a specialization.
I think you did the heavy or something. It's
Yeah,
one
I'm
that was
trying
like
to-
kind of
I'm
melee.
trying
It's like a
to-
bruiser.
Specialization.
What are those specializations for hired gun in that book?
It's not in that book.
Is there-
Enforcer.
Enforcer. That's what he did.
It's in one of the expansions.
Yeah, because you took intimidating. Have you taken any others besides intimidating?
No.
Fearsome. I don't know what that does, but causing fear could be very good.
How do I do this without unplugging
And a good gun can need to be very intimidating.
What a tangled web we live.
So I did intimidating, so I can go to stunning blow.
What does this one do?
Action may force the adversary to make a fear check. That would be good with the coercion.
Anyone who becomes engaged in combat with you has to make a fear check.
Difficulty equal to the character's ranks in fearsome.
Well, that's pretty hard. But, I mean, it's interesting.
I don't even know where that is.
That's not a skill. That's It's ranks in that ability.
Like how many
Oh.
times
So,
you've
like-
taken that.
Oh,
so like
right.
it shows up there, and it would show up somewhere else farther down the list.
So they would have to do.
So that one it would
check
just be a fear check at a difficulty of 1.
of 1.
But if you buy it a second time, then it's 2. That's why like intimidating's on here again.
Mm.
So that then you could, if you had intimidating, the second rank of intimidating, you could spend 2 strain and decrease the difficulty by 2.
Move blue box per rank of street smarts. No, I don't care about that. Yeah, so it's either. Yeah, it's either like I could do 3 ranks in that, or I could do this.
Well, no, you can't just do 3 ranks in it right there.
No.
You buy it there, and then you buy it again when it shows up farther down.
Oh, okay, I see. So I could do one of those.
You scroll back up real quick. What is that?
I mean, I could do one of those and this, but I don't.
You can always take tough one if you haven't yet. It just gives you more wound threshold.
Yeah,
Which could be useful.
as long as we don't. But I'd rather do something to not get into any. Like, you know what I mean?
Better to not get hurt than be more durable when you get hurt.
It would be better to do the fearsome at least in the 1 rank.
Totally up to you, man.
And then
What you want to do with your character?
remind me how I always forget every week how
Ranking up the
the
skills.
skills work. So if it's a career rank, it's
10 times the rank it's going to be.
So to go from 2 ranks to 3 ranks is 30 XP.
oh yeah, I don't even have close to that.
How much do you have?
I only got 15.
Just the 15. So I mean, you can't for 10. Couldn't you buy the first rank of a career skill?
Yeah, but everything that's actually useful, I already have a rank in. Except for maybe like. No, maybe perception. Nah, I wouldn't want to do
You could
that.
save it as well
I'd
if you're
probably
wanting
just
to
save it.
rank it, like up a different skill that's like a higher ranked skill, and stow them up so you can get really good
Yeah.
at something.
I think I'll just spend the 5 on that fearsome.
Okay.
Cool.
Fearsome.
I can assume it's a new talent.
You know, I had a page on here I could have given you.
For where your thing
For
is.
the enforcer thing, and I never did.
That may actually just be a skill in the book.
So.
Hand me the. No, I mean, it'd be the one that's scorched out.
Oh, it's right here. So it's they have a difficulty check of 1.
I'm looking it up in detail right now to see
And I
what exactly.
yeah, say what do I got to do to use it? Or I got to spend a strain or
Speaking of that, did my strain go back to? Probably would, huh? For a week.
Yeah, no, yeah, your strain goes up pretty quick.
Toss when he was 8 and got no Christmas presents.
It's gotta be sped up.
Oh yeah, 100%. And looped, I'm sure. But
Oh, fearsome. There it is. The character may force the adversary to make a fear check with a difficulty equal to the character's rank of fearsome. At GM's discretion, some adversaries may be immune to this talent based on the type of adversary or ongoing circumstances. Page 298 for fear checks.
Allergies. They are really into me.
Take a breath, then I sneeze. My nose so stuffed, I cannot breathe. Look out! Here comes the allergy.
Okay. Yeah, fear. If they fail their fear check, they just get a whole bunch of. Depending on how much they fail. It can. It causes like different.
Different levels of spook.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So they would check it, and then if they failed,
It might add setback die to their actions for the whole encounter. It might cause them to lose any.
so it doesn't.
They
just,
might not be able to take their first turn. Like they might move up to you, and that's it.
So it doesn't just add a difficulty to whatever roll they're giving.
No, it's
They have to make a check to see if they're scared of you whenever they get close to you.
The example they use is like if Darth Vader comes around the corner and none of the players have seen him personally before, a check is appropriate.
Cool.
I mean, I'm as ready as I'll ever be for this.
I think we're as ready as we'll ever be.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which is not entirely very.
So they do manage to get a hold of a shuttle, as well as the various access key cards and stuff. They're kind of like, it is kind of this whole like they're treating it very much as a military operation. They're kind of they give you guys access to what technical information they have for both the planet and the space station. Based off like the holograms and everything in the briefing room, it is kind of this big U-shaped space station, and they build Star Destroyers in the middle of it. Planet side, the Imperial garrison is essentially a fortress. Next to it is the space all of the spaceport, and then on the other side of that spaceport is the whole foundry operation. And then there's mines that kind of honeycomb through whole sections of the planet. The whole planet's very geologically active. It's very volcanic. And then there are prisoner compounds and stuff like that kind of scattered around. Some of it's around the foundry, and some of it's a little more remote. The prisoner compounds and stuff are more centered around the mining operations than they are around like the foundry and the Imperial garrison. They're Joel seems ready to go. He seems resigned to go.
Resigned is a better R word.
I just smack him on the shoulder. Don't be nervous. We'll be fine.
I hand Baxas the big dorky Imperial engineer helmet, and I say, just in case they look at the back of your head.
This is what's coming to you, huh? I put it on hesitantly. All right, let's go.
Actually, Baxas, it looks kind of cool.
Don't you lie to me, Apex.
And once you guys are all sort of, or at least mostly dressed, they will, you can take off.
Let's take off. Let's force it.
Let's force it.
Maybe
Who's ready?
Force it
Yeah.
They do, the major does leave you with the, may the force be with you.
That's how you say it. That explains the confused look on the last person. And may you also have the force.
Yeah, force it in you, whatnot. Let's get out of here.
You also.
When you guys drop out of hyperspace, you are almost immediately, like, it does not take you long to show up on scanners and get get hailed by like the Imperial Command Center, which I mean does exactly what you'd expect, asking for ship identification, like your purpose for being there, like landing codes, stuff like that.
Haas, you're up.
Man, I gotta try really hard not to do this goofy because I know it's gonna screw us over if I do.
It's the Inquisitor boys. What's that?
What's
You probably haven't heard of this, but
We're very scary, clearly.
We are Inquisitor number 43712. D.
That's a lot of numbers for Inquisitor.
Ain't a letter. Whoa.
Wow.
And just like that, we're blown out of the sky.
They probably don't know the call signs for inquisitorial ships.
We have orders or whatever. We have orders from this rank. I don't know.
From the
Pretend
Inquisition.
like I said a rank that I know. That the rebels told me.
right.
They told me to use. That's what I did.
No, I'm kind of co-piloting probably while he's flying. I'm gonna patch through the clearance codes they gave us.
Okay. Roll an easy deception check.
Me?
Yep.
Okay.
You're the one talking.
Well,
Let's see how deceptively I typed the
Baxas.
code.
Baxas has a really cool hat. That's pretty intimidating.
Nobody can see you at the moment.
Thank God.
Because I assume nobody's put their helmets on yet.
Probably not.
Okay, deception.
It's cunning.
No ranks. 2. Easy.
It's a good thing I didn't ask you were a medium or hard deception.
2 successes, 1 threat.
Oh, fuck.
Okay,
We were successful.
that's not
We were
bad.
successful.
You are
That scares me.
you are like the clearance code passes, and you are given a hangar to land at on board the station.
I guess we land.
Yep.
Put the helmet on. Make sure to really tuck the fur
Hold
into the neck of the suit.
Hold on.
You're like taking the vibro actions, like clipping a little bit of back neck hair that's peeking out from under the helmet. Put it on firmly and
I put the engineer hat on, and I kind of get down like I'm trying to fix something on the shuttle.
Joel's kind of just like, here we go, and puts his helmet on. The space station as you guys approach is a massive operation. You can see the Imperial class Star Destroyer in orbit, as well as a couple of Imperial frigates, and there's another Imperial Star Destroyer that's essentially half built in the dockyard.
when we're kind of like lining up at the dropping of the shuttle, I want to kind of give like a little bump on the shoulder to Joel and be like, "Don't worry, I've started to get this thing figured out, and I'm pretty sure the Force is on our side here."
You can tell me that again if we make it out of this. And you guys are the hangar that you guys land in is gigantic. There are TIE fighters here, kind of slung from racks in the ceiling. There are other shuttles here, and when the ramp drops into the hangar of this Imperial space station, kind of approaching from across the hangar is an Imperial officer and a couple stormtroopers, and he stops and sort of half bows respectfully as you as the three of you come down the ramp.
We just step in time by. I try and step in time with Joel to where we just look very robotic.
Okay.
Almost.
You are like
Basically that.
Basically that. You found your calling.
And then the officer turns to you.
We have orders to pick up a prisoner. Oh yeah.
I mean, I assume you have like all the fake documentation and
Yes.
everything as well.
I hand it to him. Well, I don't hand it to him. I just hold it in front of
Just
him.
show him. Just throw it up.
He
like
will
we have
he will
orders.
reach to take it. Do you actually let it go when he takes it, or is it that awkward tug of war?
I hold it out, and as he kind of does grab it, I just stare at it, kind of intimidatingly.
Right. He has to kind of tug it.
How dare he even try to like
That kind of look
at it? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, he does kind of he does have to tug it out of your grip. He seems. Roll me. You guys give me notice checks.
Roll me potato salad.
I'll have just you guys do it because
What?
you guys
What's
can
a notice,
communicate with
Dan?
Gank.
I don't know if you
or
can
not-
roll a notice.
Or perception, I guess.
Perception.
Yeah, you can't see this, Baxas.
What difficulty?
Trying to stay out of sight inside the ship. Easy.
A success and a threat.
Success and threat. Perfect. Success. This man is already uneasy about something. And he seems even more uneasy by the him feeling like he's doing something wrong by taking the documentation that he obviously needs, having to actually pull it out of your hand. But he's before you guys arrived, this man was uneasy about something. And he doesn't do anything more than kind of glance at. He doesn't look at it for very long. He literally kind of glances at it and immediately and very sort of respectfully gives it back. And says, it's a very quick sort of everything seems to be in order. Your compatriots are already down on the planet's surface. And he sort of motions for all of you to follow him.
Our compatriots. We're not the first Inquisitor on this rock. I hope you brought the charm, boss. Because we in it now.
We have peers. I can't be intimidating to our peers.
I can tell a guy's not an inquisitor, because I'm an inquisitor, but I'm too scared to tell him otherwise.
What if he is an Inquisitor and I just don't know the guy? He looks like one, and he's very scary like one. I know, I am one. Of course I know him. He's me.
Haas is going to have to lie to a bunch of space wizards. This is going to be
Well, they're not space wizards. They just hunt space wizards. They're space lizard assassins.
Which Space Wizard wants.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're high-level thief rogues. If you know, you know.
So, yes.
Normally when somebody says, it follows with, I start blast.
So it's third blade.
So I will kind of go on the gonk the gonk came link.
Gonk.
Gonk. I'll just start speaking gonk.
Why is that bird trooper just following around, walking around going, gonk? Gonk.
Also, that armor seems very blocky. What's going on?
Is he alright?
That's what happens when my backup gonk character has to try and infiltrate Imperial compound. I will go on the
Nobody knows what
Gank
gonk droids
comic.
do, so I assume you could just walk around anywhere. People will be like, that's
That's the task this is meant for. I will go on the Gank comlink and communicate to both of you, but mostly to Baxas, saying there's Inquisitors on planet. It sounds like already, or at least an Inquisitor. This could get messy.
The hell am I going to do?
Be ready to think creatively.
Oh, shit.
And as
Alright.
as you guys are, so it's kind of this officer in the lead with the two stormtroopers behind him, and then you next, and the two fake purge troopers in the back. And Joel is kind of like, did you hear that?
I'm just gonna turn, look at him, and nod, and then look straight back forward.
He's just shaking his head.
We in it now, boys. We in it now.
And where this officer goes to what's kind of a small, like, kind of hangar control bay. And sort of asks very respectfully for the name of the prisoner that you're there for. And
it's worth saying I did bring my Magna cuffs with me.
Right.
Because that makes sense.
Cuff the man. He seems to be like accessing records.
Iridot stole.
Going through the going through this kind of control console and like pulling up records and stuff. He pulls up Iridot Stoll's file. He is indeed alive.
Yippee!
And he seems to be assigned to a mining work detail at present. He gives you a set of clearance codes for planet side. Both for, well, so essentially it's a complete clearance code package for your shuttle to descend to the surface, drop off its passengers, and then return to the station to wait for
the pickup.
To wait for the pickup, since ships aren't allowed to remain on the surface. As well as giving you the name of the mining complex, like the details and locations of everything in the mining complex, and says that he'll call the planet side and make sure that a transport is provided. And he does give a helpful you already knew this, but sort of he's not. It's kind of a of course it's this complex is what he says, as though you're already supposed to know the number of that complex.
Just smile. Don't smile. Glare. Glare and nod.
But he seems to be doing everything in his power to just be like, here's everything you need.
I'm sorry I offered it to you. I'm so sorry.
If something's wrong, it wasn't me.
Kill the other one.
But yeah, and it's just and just sort of doing the sort of some of the processing documentation and stuff.
Right. This will be adequate.
He is happy to hear it.
So we go do the stuff. Wait, the transport for us to go get him, or for them to bring him to us?
We're going down planet side, and then our shuttle's leaving, and it gets to come back and pick us up.
Right.
And transport will be provided for you guys to go get him.
Right.
Transport and if you want, stormtroopers.
I don't think we need it.
That would be a power move. Power move. Not only do we get this guy out, but we get the other side to help us.
It's we just start flying away from the station, and it's all right, boys, good work. The other 8 stormtroopers are what?
Oh, and then anyway, we stopped blank.
I don't think we want stormtroopers to come with us. I think you can say that your security detail is adequate, because then they're going to get on board the ship where our pilots are Nautilin in an engineer helmet, and so it's probably best they just don't see any of that.
Yeah.
basically, our team is adequate.
Okay.
And I guess we just wait for transport.
Well, it's
ours.
It's your. It's all the detail stuff for your guys'.
Oh.
We just got the codes, so now we can go land there.
That's
Right. Let's get on our ship, close the door, and take the helmet off and ask old Joel if he needs a change of armor.
He does sort of. He takes the helmet off, and it's just sort of a like. Fuck.
I hear this, and I turn around and go, Joel, what's wrong? What happened? Like I didn't already know what was going on.
Sounds like we're not the first Inquisitor on this rock.
Ah.
They better not be here after your boy.
So,
If they are,
so
things can get pretty interesting.
What is it when one of your family members is here? Your fellow Inquisitors. How serious are you thinking? I just to ease tension.
You're going to have to drop us off and leave and then come back to pick us up. That being said, I mean, if we have to fight these guys, hopefully not. If we have to fight these guys and can try and do it in a way that's not too loud, we might still be able to get picked up and off-world before they know too much of what we've done. Look, I mean, we don't have a choice at this point. We're in it. We're here for the long haul.
We're gonna
We
fight.
pretty much just have to.
I'm sure it'll be
Inquisitors
fine.
with lightsabers.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I mean, I'm in. I mean, we're in.
We can't. At this point, we can't not without them just probably blowing us the fuck up. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet an Inquisitor again. Last time I met him, I was a little spooked. This time, still spooked, but more confident.
Obviously, the clearance code's
Foolhardy and cock
clear on account of how you just got them from that guy over there.
who is legitimate, we assume. Unless, what if he's a rebel in disguise? Just like, whew, that was close. Second Inquisitor.
Bunch of Inquisitors. Good, I sent them on their way. I better get out of here. And his two in disguise rebel buddies, one of whom was a Bothan the whole time. You never noticed because it's another group of player characters. It's like, that was close. Let's get out of here.
That'd be amazing.
And then they almost ruin our plan because they make so much noise getting off the road.
We end up hunting other people who are not Imperials just to convince them that we're Imperials and then meet them and like, nice.
You guys are allowed planet side. This place is miserable. It's obvious just as you're landing that this is kind of a hellscape. The foundry seems horrible. The Imperial garrison is a fortress. But you guys are given clearance codes to a empty landing pad. They are like shielded. Like they are kind of like hangars. Or like fully enclosed hangars so that you don't need to like wear a breathing mask just to step out of the ship. As you guys land, you are sort of once again met by an Imperial officer. This one seems less just immediately like, holy shit, more Inquisitors! How can I help you, sir? He seems a little more sort of in command, I guess.
Right.
So as you guys emerge from this Imperial shuttle, he says that like they received word that you're here to pick up a prisoner from the from the mining complex that the rest of the Inquisitors are investigating, and just asks for your the prisoner identification and transfer documentation.
The name is Iridet Soul. I do the exact same thing.
He takes it out of your hand without any of the it's all in order. He seems to be giving this a more thorough look.
while he's doing that, I say, we're in a hurry. What is the delay?
Roll a hard
Would that be coercion?
coercion.
Probably.
As I assume that's the route you're taking.
I mean,
Yeah. What is the delay?
He's not trying to convince this guy that there's a delay.
on,
He's
man,
telling this guy
wait.
there's a fucking delay.
There's a delay, and there will be a delay in the rest of your life if you don't.
If you don't get on with it.
I mean, and also we have a force point if we really wanna.
You have 3.
We have 3 currently.
I kind of assume you're going to lower the difficulty of it.
I'm gonna lower the.
Okay.
I might just go
I'm
down.
going to. You can only spend it once because you only have 1 rank.
Oh right.
Um,
So I can only do the one.
right.
Okay.
But I am going to flip that. So it will be 1 purple and 1
One red.
red.
Because he's making it more spooky.
I'm going to spend a different. There is a rule for DMing that a lot of or GMing that a lot of GMs go by, which I think is an excellent rule, which is don't make your players roll for something if you're not willing to have them fail.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you have to still have your players roll stuff sometimes, especially in situations like this. So I don't I wanted this to be a little more difficult and require you guys to think a little more creatively, so I'm not necessarily going to go easy on you.
Of course.
1 advantage.
That's it.
It's always hard when there's no success or failure
Mm-hmm.
to determine the results, especially when it's just like 1
He
advantage.
just ignores what you said.
You've irritated him enough that he didn't pay as close attention to the documentation, maybe.
Or I'm gaining a reputation. We're gaining a reputation as impatient and in a hurry.
That could be helpful. Who knows?
It might not work at this guy.
Right.
Could work. Though.
I mean, at the very least, you're like disregard, and this isn't like necessarily a detriment, but your disregard of like your attitude of you are beneath me, like I have a job to do has been noted.
Yeah.
But his response is kind of something along the lines of like he thinks it's sort of like a so sorry, like I think there might be a problem with some of this documentation. I'm sure it's nothing, but like he is going to have like a superior officer clear the prisoner transfer.
They were rebels, and they were screwing with us.
Well, no, this is our fake documentation, not the codes that those guys gave us.
I'll say your determination is admirable. That's it.
Okay, you can either he gives you the option like you can either return to the station until any documentation stuff is sorted out, or you can wait here and possibly talk to his commanding officer, but like your ship will have to return to orbit, since ships are not allowed to remain on the surface for long.
Send the ship up.
I guess we just
Yo, Baxas, get her out of here! Yes, sir. Yells at
If
Ronald
you-
leading out.
If you are like, if you say something along the lines of, "We will stay here" or something like that, I'll like kind of like do a bow, turn, and walk up with the like plane to just let him know to leave. Even though the entire time I'm on the game comlink, like I'm coming up. You're gonna have to leave. But I'm gonna come up there and be like, "They're making you get off world. Be ready to get back on world in a hurry." You have to stay in orbit, but be ready.
Got it.
I will
I'm ready.
stay on the surface.
And I'll come back down after I tell him and stay on the surface with you.
He just had to.
Just telling
he
him-
had to play it up like, okay, I gotta go talk with him. and
I'll go
then
tell
we
him
gotta-
that he has to get off world, kind of a thing.
This officer will lead you guys into the actual garrison building as the shuttle takes back off with its sole occupant.
And I'm over here thinking to myself, oh, fuck.
They're fucked. I mean, if we are, then you by extension likely are, unless you could. I mean, you could jet out of there and maybe get out alive.
Maybe.
You're in the best position of all of us.
Yeah, I'm in the best position to get out alive, where you guys are probably like, ugh.
We are stuck on a prison planet.
Mhm.
You guys are brought to another Imperial officer. I mean, this one is he's still in. I mean, he's in a very formal uniform, but he's not wearing a cap or anything. He's in a very sparsely furnished office. This is not
They're utilitarian.
Yes, it is not the office of a opulent man. It is the office of a military officer who has probably been at this post for some time.
This guy's probably going to be a hard ass. I say in the game comlink.
In-game comment.
In game comlink, I say this guy's probably going to be a hard ass. So err on the side of not pissing him off.
In the sort of your guys' falsified documentations have it handed over. He does this officer does senior officer does kind of stand up and sort of greet you and welcome you into his office. He doesn't offer drinks or anything. He seems to be it's I don't have time for drinks. Neither do you. You're an inquisitor.
Empire comes first, before drinks. Once the rebellion is crushed, then we can share a drink.
He sort of starts going over the documentation as well and says sort of the same thing that they received. They received word from the station that another inquisitor had arrived and that you were bearing documentation to transfer a prisoner off planet. I believe you got 2 successes on your documentation. When the computer's check, right?
The computer's check was just 2 successes without any threats.
Okay. I will use that as the difficulty.
Uh-oh.
Why not? That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
So again, you guys do have listening points.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I
a good
spend
time.
1 to do whatever that does in our favor.
One of those and turn it into that.
Help us out.
Give us a chance. Oh, God.
Give me a
Let's look up. Those stats are probably going to be largely the same. Very largely the same.
I don't like how long this is taking.
Well, it's just one of those things where I really need to decide how exactly a lot of this goes down.
The fact that he didn't hand it back to us and say, all right, I'll get your prisoner right away, makes me a bit nervous.
Yeah.
I just need to decide exactly how this is working because it is the other officers left. It is just you 3 in the office with this guy. But as he begins to look at his documentation, he can tell it's faked. And he sort of like looks up at you all with this like the balls on these people that like look very briefly crosses his face, and he seems to sort of like he sort of moves to hand it back, and sort of gives you a smile that he hopes is sort of disarming, and he seems to be sort of like slowly reaching for something.
I would like to. I'm gonna quick draw, stun him. I'm gonna quick draw and stun with the heavy blaster.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna quick draw, aim, stun. And this is close range? Good. And he has not acted yet.
Nope.
Good. I will not be auto-firing. 1 success, 5 advantages.
Thank God.
Okay, what's the total?
It'll be 12 strain.
Okay, he's not technically a high enough level to have a strain threshold written down, so I would say that's fine.
And 5 advantages on him. And I'm gonna just kind of look over. I'm gonna look directly at Joel and shrug.
And it just kind of shakes. He kind of shakes his head and sighs and goes around behind the desk and like shoves this Imperial officer out of the way and just starts immediately like sort of like accessing computer systems and just
I'm
like,
going to walk around beside him and be like, how good are you at this? I take the helmet off and I'm like, make sure no one comes through that door, and I pull my implanted cyberjack out of the back of my head, hook it in, and I start trying to get into the system here.
Okay. Roll a hard computer check.
No, I don't. I roll an average one, because I use my implanted cyberjack. -2 strain, reduce it. So my computers is 1 rank, but 3 intelligence, so bink, bonk,
He
bonk.
rolled.
Dink, dink.
He rolled very well.
2 success.
On his thing. 2 successes.
2 successes.
You can get access to the computer system.
I'm in. I guess is this something I could like put commands through? Like, could I
To some degrees, yes.
could I be like
There's an actual command center. But...
security detail for this mining operation? Bring this prisoner to the office, to my office, basically.
I'll make that a hardest computers check to like fake that. You think you could send something like that along?
It's just how convincing it is.
Yeah.
Is that something? Could I suffer strain to do my thing again?
Sure. It is technically a different computers check.
Yeah. It's another hard one?
Yep.
Okay. Oops, I did it again. So it'll be 2 success.
Okay.
Just 2 success. I'm gonna be like, sorry, pull the thing out, click it up. Beep beep boop 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 beep beep boop boop beep beep. And then I unplug myself, put the helmet back on, and I'm like, so we get a weekend at Bernie's this or what? I guess, I mean, if they show up and the Inquisitor's here and it's just a security detail and we're like, show them our fake documentation, I don't think he needs to be here.
I love the idea of a guy in Purge Trooper armor laying under the desk with like a blaster rifle stuck up his sleeve so they can like you can like move his arm around. You just like turned the chair away from the door. It's just like, yes. Bring him in.
You too. Big arm.
You are reasonably confident that unless there are like extenuating circumstances, a security detail is going to bring this old Nautilin to this office.
I am going to be like, I think that it would be a sufficiently... I think at this point, this particular officer has nothing but trouble he can cause. And I'm going to say that while pulling out my vibro knife. And kind of shrugging at the two people like, stop me? No? And I'm going to like drag him well underneath his desk and slit his throat.
Okay. Joel's gonna collect the like pins off of his uniform.
Okay. Let's
The other thing Joel will do as you guys are waiting.
You could do too is you could Haas could lie if he get caught and just be like, he was a rebel spy. We figured this
that
out.
could be pretty difficult if this guy's been working here for like 30 years.
The other thing Joel will do as you guys are waiting in this office is start like essentially just downloading information off the computer systems, kind of as much as he can get. Prisoner logs, technical readouts, just like production data, just like as much as he can get. He's a rebel after all. What happens now? I mean, some time passes. You guys are in here for what feels like a very long time. Waiting waiting for this like prisoner to be delivered. And it is sort of eventually what happens is there's just sort of a respectful knock at the door.
I think it's for you.
Yes, come. Actually, yeah, like I'll say it, unless like.
And we just stand at the door so they don't come up to the desk and see like the slow filling pool of blood or at the
Hey.
back of it.
We at least mopped up the blood. We're not sloppy.
We put like we pack paper towels around his head.
And you use the dead body to just mop it up.
There's a gonk around here somewhere cleaning up the blood.
They clean up the blood. Turns out that's what gonks do. They're blood vacuums. They're like Swiffer Sweeper vacs.
I thought that was the mouse droids.
I thought they just like delivered information. I don't really know what any of these droids do. Besides like R2 units and protocol droids and assassin droids.
It's like they made a lot of things that looked spacey
and
just left other people figure out what they did later on. It's like Harrison Ford, the first day of filming, when he walks into the Millennium Falcon's cockpit set, and he's just like looks at, I think it's George Lucas, and just goes, "All right, how do you fly this thing?" And he goes, "I have no idea." So then Harrison Ford has to just like, and it's just like walls of buttons and switches and lights, and he has to just like
and it feels perfect.
do
He
stuff
nails it.
that looks legit. Which makes me wonder if it was that first take or if he had to keep doing it till he looked natural. I have no idea. The door opens, revealing that same officer who kind of met you guys on the ground, as well as two stormtroopers and a old Nautilin in binders. And the officer seems slightly like, where's the other guy?
The other one.
I'll just say the officer had other duties to attend to. This will do. Thank you.
That will probably be a negotiation check, not a coercion.
Ooh. Should I restate that to make
It's-
it spookier?
You said what you said. Let's do this.
Negotiation, okay. Well, actually,
Then
that's my second best one, so it's not actually bad at all.
You're a little scarier than you are
It
charming,
is-
but you're still very
gonna make
charming.
I'm gonna make it a hard one. But as per usual, I feel like now I just need to preface every roll with as
You
per usual.
could.
You do have
The force, you can always
destiny
force it.
points.
Actually, it's actually no different than my coercion because I have 3.
It's like
You just
it's
can't
3
reduce
and,
the
it's like
difficulty.
3 and 2 versus 2 and 3.
Yeah. So that hard. It's probably worth spending another force.
I think this is a pretty key moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you can. That lets you upgrade the last.
Your last green to a yellow
Okay, so 3 yellows, but still the 3
with 3 purples.
Yes.
purples. Okay. Not 4 purples.
Give us,
Don't sell yourself short.
give us all the chances we can get. We need all the help we can get.
2 advantages.
How? Ay, ay, ay.
So nothing happens, but
No success, no
Um,
failure, but to advantage. Okay.
things are going. Things are turning our way.
He that's more advantages than last time. Things are looking up. The officer just steps sort of to, still in the doorframe, just sort of to the side and motions for the 2 stormtroopers to bring the prisoner in. But he doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Is the prisoner currently in binds?
Mhm.
I am going to step forward, seemingly like, oh, you are handing him into our custody, and kind of like motion to the stormtroopers, kind of motion to the binding season and take out the magna cuffs.
Okay.
I just say something.
Just be like, you guys take this off. I'm putting these on.
Roll an easy negotiation check. I mean, it's a non-verbal one, but that's...
That'll just be 1v1, I believe. Because I am not the negotiator.
Oh, the negotiation.
1 advantage. Simple dice rolls reveal simple results.
So what begins to sort of interrupt that is like he sort of starts to do it, and you're sort of interrupted by the sound of like booted feet moving
Oh no.
down, like moving in the hallway, like outside, and that seemed to be like approaching.
Here comes Inquisitors. Holy shit, we're about to get fucked.
Just let me know. I will ram into shit.
I mean,
Plan it.
It is worth mentioning that your escape vehicle is currently in orbit.
I
I love
suppose.
the idea of Baxas just being like, just waiting on a call.
Cutting us. It's like kind of me like ripping a knife across someone's throat, and then cuts back to him. Cuts back to us. Just zoom in of fucking Joel's face sweating under the helmet.
Sweat dripping out of the helmet.
I guess as the footsteps approach, I step back for a second. I mean, there's nothing we can. I mean, we don't start blasting yet.
I just say, is there a problem?
That can be a coercion check.
Okay.
I assume you'll just decrease the difficulty down to 2.
Do it. Suffer a strain and do it again.
This time, my money's on 3 at least.
We're looking up.
Building up a steady pool.
I think it's going to be like 5 successes and 10 threats. That's what I think it's going to be. But we'll see. He's going to be very successful with a ton
Look,
of
ludicrous numbers of threats are an easy thing to figure out in this case.
I don't like his
1
face.
success, 2 advantages.
Okay.
Okay.
This officer sort of motions to Stormtrooper. He takes he takes the cuffs off so that you can put yours on.
to keep up appearances and whatnot. I'll kind of forcibly kind of move his arms behind his back and put the cuffs, my magna cuffs on them.
Okay. This old Nautilin seems more or less resigned to his fate. It's like I'm not fighting my way out of this.
That's a damn Inquisitor. Look at the size of him. Is that battle armor? I didn't know Inquisitors wore battle armor.
Inquisitors, 2 Purge Troopers, 2 Stormtroopers. I'm on an inescapable planet anyway. I guess this is my life now.
I welcome death.
And the the big thing is like how kind I want to be with the advantages.
You think about it, I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing this whole session. Taking the piss.
They're making it work. Sort of. You got this far.
Huh?
You got this far.
Yeah, exactly. We got as far as we need to be in an inescapable death trap as soon as something goes wrong. It's not inescapable. It'll be fine.
I didn't want it to be easy.
It's not. It shouldn't be. What was that?
We've done worse.
That's true. We haven't... Well, we did kill one guy. We've only killed one guy so far.
I mean, again, do you think that back to that first session, we pretty much stole a ship right under Inquisitors and Purge Troopers' noses?
That's true. These Inquisitors are a bunch of chumps. Clearly. It'll be easy.
I want to say it's more of the Purge Troopers that are the chumps. But, that's just me.
The Inquisitors, if they were good Inquisitors, they would have seen us coming a mile away. That's my point.
Fair enough.
Everybody dies from a coincidental stroke.
Simultaneous coincidental strokes. Gets them every time.
I am going to essentially roll a notice check here. I am letting you know that in case people want to upgrade the difficulty of it. I realize that I shouldn't just roll it without
the option.
Without the option existing.
A notice check, huh?
The only way we can do that is with the Force.
Yeah, that's how we can affect it. We've got 2 left, but that gives him even more stuff to throw back at us.
Yeah.
I
don't know how many of them I need to use here. You guys...
We're digging our own grave pretty sufficiently. I think it's better to save them at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that we might need it for the combat that's going to ensue.
Us versus the planet of Imperial.
We don't need to kill the whole planet. Just enough for Baxas to pick us up.
As you're sort of doing this, the footsteps get closer. The 2 stormtroopers very much snap to attention, as does the officer, and passing by without looking to the left or right are 3 Inquisitors and a small handful of Purge Troopers. And these... It's hard to tell, but these seem to be the same Inquisitors that you... You would at least...
Now we've swindled
you at
once
least you're like the armor on that front one. I know that.
Hey, that's the guy that I agreed with aggressively, and he told me to fuck off.
And they, but they don't seem to notice. Notice you all.
God.
Whatever it is they're doing, wherever it is they're going, they seem to be
it seems more important.
And sort of trailing behind them are a couple of Imperial officers that have a crate on a hover sled, and then a couple more purge troopers, and they just like continue